Hey everyone, Marty here, joining alongside Shaun McCabe. Shaun, thank you so much for joining us. You're the production director at Insomniac, working on Ratchet and Clank for PS4.
That's right.
This is exciting. This is our first time we're getting a real sort of in-depth look at the gameplay, and I mean, right from the get-go, you could tell that this is not just a simple. I think a lot of people sort of had this fear that, like, oh, this is just going to be like an HD remake of the original Ratchet and Clank, but obviously this is something much bigger. So tell us a little bit about the project.
No, it's a this is Ratchet and Clank for PlayStation 4. It's a whole new game that's based on elements from the classic on PlayStation 2. It was developed alongside a feature film of the same name that's coming out in April of next year.
Okay.
And, so this project, we definitely, like you said, we didn't want to do an HD thing. We didn't want to just up-res things. And so where we started was a reimagining.
Yeah, yeah.
And by that, we meant we wanted to take the kind of basic elements from the original and then add to it some of the deeper storytelling that happens in the film.
Yeah.
Especially telling Ratchet and Clank's origin story, showing how they meet, showing how they first bond and end up working together. But as the project kind of went along, we started adding a lot of new stuff to it. And I think, by the end, we have, new weapons, new systems, new planets, all kinds of new things, completely new Clank gameplay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really almost everything in this game is new. And so we've kind of started with a reimagining, but we've come to think of it as kind of a new beginning to Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, we were talking earlier, 13 years since the original Ratchet and Clank on
It
PS2.
has, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a series that's, from the PS2 trilogy to the future trilogy on PS3 to now, it's evolved a lot over the course of a couple generations of Sony consoles and handhelds.
Yeah, tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you see, like we were talking that in the original game you couldn't strafe, which is insane. Like I can't. I remember, playing the game originally, but it's just funny how sort of things that we associate as, simple gameplay mechanics, sort of the series gained over time. So this is, this is coming out in spring as well, alongside the movie. The story, are they telling the same story? Is this a different story? Are they complementary?
They're definitely complementary works. The bones of the stories are the same. Really, the only difference is the game is a lot longer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more story to be told there. But the big major beats of the film and the game are aligned.
Are still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really great. This is going back to the traditional single player sort of Ratchet and Clank campaign, correct? There's no multiplayer elements. Is the weapon upgrade system, going to be familiar to people who've played the games in the future trilogy?
I think it'll be familiar to some, but still feels fresh and new because the weapons are different, the choices are different. The weapon system or the weapon upgrade system is sort of a spiritual successor to what we did in Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus. We started with just a system that offered players a lot of different options for how they upgrade weapons, and it kind of grew it from there. Yeah. It is, there's a couple ways to upgrade weapons. As always, you can upgrade weapons through use, but for players that really want to get in there and tinker, there's this kind of open upgrade minigame.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the other things you said that the team was trying to focus on? I mean, I guess in Insomniac games in general is always trying to sort of let players feel like they're controlling a movie, which now more than ever, it sort of has that feeling. So tell us a little bit about what, especially with PlayStation 4, how you're able to achieve that.
Well, it's always been a goal of ours. From the very beginning, the dream was to let people play an animated film, and it's something that we strive for every time with one of these games.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until an early demo in this game where we built Metropolis here, and saw it running on the PlayStation 4 that we realized, we're really close, guys.
Yeah. The singularity.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like a lot of the cinematics in the game are real time, and they look like something you'd go to the theater and see.
Oh yeah. I mean, you were saying earlier some of the cutscenes that you'll walk in and sort of you'll have to do a second glance to see if it's the game or if it's the movie.
Yeah, we did. Like people were surprised. Like, one time we sent a screenshot around and people said, "Oh yeah, is that one of the that like a pre-rendered scene? And we're like, no, that's just a screenshot.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to actually get to realize that dream. 13 years after.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of awesome to be able to revisit that original vision, and sort of go back and take everything you guys have as a studio have learned over the course of multiple console generations and really continue to explore and build upon that initial foundation.
Yeah, it's been incredibly exciting, and it's exciting for Insomniacs of all kinds. Like there's a sizable group of people that actually worked on the original.
Yeah.
They worked on this. There are people like me that were drawn to Insomniac because of games like Ratchet and Clank.
Oh,
and so
absolutely. Yeah.
We've learned so much about what makes this series special, and it's a rare and kind of fantastic opportunity to get to create this new introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, with 13 years of history for the series, it's I think you're gonna get a lot of folks who, I mean, younger gamers who weren't even, maybe didn't play a lot of PS2 games or PS4
or weren't
never
born,
owned a PS3. So we have, obviously some of the familiar, beloved weapons like Mr. Zurka and the Groovatron, but then we also have new weapons. We saw the Pixel, was it the Pixelizer?
Yeah, the Pixelizer.
Yeah.
The Pixelizer. Oh, it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
It does exactly that. It recreates the blockiness of yesteryear.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of a funny thing, too. It's one of the more technically challenging things that we had to do in this game.
Yeah.
It actually took a console like the PlayStation 4 to let us make things look like the PlayStation 1.
You have to go forward in order to go back.
It was indeed, but it's also like sound effects and everything. It was a really fun one to put in there, and it feels great to use. It feels really powerful.
We can expect other new weapons as well.
You may.
This is
sneak in a few.
So these, all of these, even if you played the original Ratchet and Clank, all these boss fights are new.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's this Snagglebeast. This Snagglebeast fight. I mean, this is a new boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
The boss fights are some of the most fun things to design and build in Ratchet. It's like they're probably the more complex things that we ever have to build.
Oh yeah, I bet. Well, and it gives you that playground to where the player can finally experiment and sort of be creative with their arsenal.
Yeah, I mean that's in a game that so much of it is about weapons and building up weapons. This is finally your opportunity to see what you can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a good feeling. I think we're gonna beat the boss. I have a good feeling. I think we're gonna be able to beat the boss.
I think so. You think?
Yeah.
I don't think there are gonna be any deaths.
There it is.
Finish
Shaun,
him off with the.
Thank you so much for joining me. Ratchet and Clank coming to PS4 and to theaters spring 2016. We're gonna have so much more on Ratchet and Clank up through E3 and for the rest of the year. So for everything else Ratchet, you're already in the right place. IGN.com.